Greetings, I'm Lias.
And I am Scandal.
And this date's been 3 episodes long so far.
Hey, we're named Dylan.
Let's play a game together! Alright, so welcome aboard, everybody. I imagine we're going to get through the rest of this scene here, but this has sparked a lot of conversational topic as, again, we get down to sort of what feels like the end of this game, the resolution, as they build us through this, plot and this timeline.
Right.
And
though I will say that most of this actually hasn't been about Phoenix's angst, so I will actually adjust my earlier comment of going like, we finally matched Dylan, because Dylan's date took forever. That was genuinely like a lot of angst though, and a lot of like depression, and like, whoa, you've had your whole life centered around us. Phoenix is just like, I can't do the
we
voting.
did have an entire segment talking about angst, sex, and stuff, and that doesn't feel like what this is.
No, not at all.
However, Small is responding really strongly, so that's a whole other bag of issues.
Right.
But again, breaking this all down, it's been very interesting how chill and comfortable Phoenix is. Again, that he doesn't seem to have any personal internal conflict.
Right.
And that's really interesting to me.
Right.
And it doesn't create the same kind of conflict that the other characters do of going, if you don't choose me, it will be some sort of personal devastation hinging on the events of my life so far.
Right.
Kind of thing. Anyway.
Which actually, in some ways, sort of makes me go, oh, bless you. There's some ways makes me, as a player, just going like, I don't really want to encourage that, and I don't want to pick that, because that's down to Phoenix or Rai, because as far as I can tell, this game is not going to let you have a poly option.
Dylan or Rai.
Dylan or Rai, excuse me.
But I say,
sorry,
what I'm looking for is screaming to the high heavens if we get to pick all 3, because that would be amazing.
Honestly,
honestly, if they did you choose all 3, and then it pans out to one big magical shot of the kingdoms being, united with a huge rainbow over these 3 different colored continents kind of thing. And it's like, and then she, and then you have a scroll, like a Star Wars style of she united the kingdoms.
That would be so
and an age of peace had begun, and they, learned each other's cultures and connected, to an unprecedented, reign of goodness and connection as, she and her 3 husbands.
And comprehension and understanding and the human world were opened up to.
Like knowledge and learning and libraries were for everyone, and, equality was expansive, and it even ultimately affected the human world because of how good it was.
Right?
And then you just wrap it all up and you're like, okay, this game, someone else wrote the ending, and good job there. Yay!
I want it so bad.
Anyway, and so then you end up with 4 options at the end where you pick one of the 3 boys or all 3 of the boys.
Right.
And the all 3 ending is this grand, beautiful, high-budget epic that's 2 minutes long.
Right.
It'd be amazing. That just as a text scroll, it'd be beautiful.
Uh-huh.
All right, over one, we paid one graphic artist to really just dig in for a week and paint this thing.
Have at it, my bro. They're like,
oh, God,
okay, I got
I'll do it. All right, but a moment later, Phoenix sits up, letting out a heavy sigh. What's wrong? I say, tied up in this experience that was sensory, and also I have
to open my eyes because I had closed my eyes and waited,
And waited. Who? But it never came. Still never came. And I opened my eyes. Where did he go? Shoot! And I'm like, we still use the bathroom. I just left. It's fine.
Potty break.
I had to pee. I'm sorry.
It's important to pee.
You know what? We mustn't go any further. Otherwise, I won't be able to stop myself. I'm really used to experiencing sexual partners who really know what they want, and we're very familiar with each other. And so, I understand contextually, and also from just asking your grandpa straight out, because it's so weird to me, that you've never done this before. And starting out with someone that knows as much as they want and is as confident as I am would be really unbalanced, actually. Honestly.
Especially considering how horny I am.
And with me really as horny as I am, I think if I was going to have sex with you, I'd probably want to bone the shit out of my entire harem first.
And
the whole harem? Yeah, all of them, all 25 of them, right in a row. And then I'd be prepared to go slow with you. It'd be great. Yeah, can you do that? What? Huh? You just really do that many people at once? I mean, it'd probably take me a couple of hours, sure, but yeah. Then I'd be in really good shape to just take it slow, let you learn things and try things. I'd be super chill, it'd be no problem.
We could talk about everything. That'd be great.
It even works like that in fanfiction. Phoenix, you are a machine.
No,
I'm a dragon. Oh, excuse you. I am a fire dragon.
We find this to be a very complete, involved experience.
Yeah, and also we just, it takes a while.
This is why the water dragons always think we're big, huge-ass perverts, because they're really quiet and they basically never talk about it.
Additionally, they're already doused when they start, because they're water dragons.
They're really boring.
And it takes a lot of...
They're a damp cloth, let me tell you.
Okay, and it takes a lot of moistness to put me out. All right, it's fine. I won't be able to stop myself.
Again, though, I am actually kind.
Oh no, this is so cute.
That's adorable.
I love this.
Like, I like.
Why is this suddenly so wholesome?
Because it's cute. Okay, but
Okay.
again, though, like, I am still kind of frustrated for me.
Yes.
Going, like, again, if Phoenix is going to be sexual, let him be sexual. There's
Right.
nothing, again, that thing of going, like, I feel like going, I'm going to keep barricading or stopping the sex so that, the player / your character, I guess, again, I understand some people don't want to interact with it, and that's fine, but I feel like then you should have an option. But for me, I'm going, like, there's some level of frustration I'm having going, like, if it feels natural to the character, stop basically insisting that every character act like every other character, going,
Right.
like, we're never going to have sex. So that's like the thing that we actually talked about previously with my friend bringing up the Arcana. I was super frustrated going, so just have sex.
Right?
Like, if you really have that, just do it. Like,
If that's
what's
what-
wrong with that?
If that's what this character is trying to do, just let it be the sex and then
Or-
keep going.
Yeah, again, or like basically work out a way to have. I'm like, I don't understand it. Like, it bugs me. Or again, where stories are like, oh no, we can't do the sex, and I'm like, you guys, you keep putting sex up on this amazing pedestal.
You also
and
keep
basically putting
equating sex to the completion of the relationship. So
right?
often, so often.
And I don't like it because also that can be really abusive. Like, some people really honestly can go, you had sex with me, you're never allowed to leave me because we have the relationship.
Yep.
Like,
now
there's-
we're dating. Now we're together. Now you essentially owe me the commitment that you've implied through with, this
you
act.
sex. Yeah, and I'm like, don't.
Anyway,
Like,
it doesn't always go that way, but it feels like all the time they're doing non-committal. They write themselves into a corner with this character's really sexual, but they can't have sex, so we have to have a reason. You know what? A fire alarm should go off in this building, or something like that.
Right? And you go,
know?
wow, we just got Deus Ex'd again.
And the thing is, but it's always it might be Deus Ex Machina, but it always stops you not because the character is stopping you.
Right?
And then it might seem a little contrived, like, well, how awfully convenient, we can't bone again. But at
Right.
the same time, it doesn't then say the character stopped because of reasons. TM.
Well, it's also like, even when the character stops, for me sometimes I'm like, this doesn't feel, because also I don't understand the character's motivations. Maybe that's my problem. I literally do not understand most of these characters. Like, when it really comes down to it, what do we know about Phoenix? What did we ever know about Julian? Like, honestly, you keep going, what are your fucking motivations?
What
And
do
you
we
keep
even know about
stopping.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Like, what do we know about Jackson at all? Like, was he
Or
really-
his two friends, his friend and his new, aggressor. We
Right.
didn't learn anything about any of them.
Yeah.
We didn't even learn what any of their jobs were, except for I
go to work.
Except for with
I work in an office.
I am a doctor and I'm a medical student kind of thing.
Right.
Like, okay, so you go to university?
Right?
Anyway.
I find it to be frustrating because to me it's far more telling about basically where they want to put their emphasis on. And it's frustrating going like, so the whole point is to basically just sort of do edge play the entire fucking time?
I laughed in confusion as Phoenix begins planting pillows between us. She's like, it's a good thing there's like 47 pillows in this room. It's great. What are you doing?
Pretending my entire harem is here.
Building a wall, and I'm going to put myself in a nest, and I'm going to sleep so good. And you'll be right there. I'll be able to smell you all night, and it'll be very comforting.
Yep.
You're too cute for me to take any chances. And I promised I would be a gentleman. Well, what happened to sleep in your arms? I realised I don't have enough restraint for that, and honestly, it's
I'm
appropriate.
allowed to change my
It's
mind.
appropriate to make adjustments once that happens, Like, people can, one, change their minds, two, they can change their understanding of their own boundary, and I can go, you know what, you sleeping in my arms would make me behave in a way that I'm not proud of, and I know that my resolve won't stop me, so I'll just fix it. It's good.
That's fine.
He gazes wistfully at me for a moment over the wall of pillows.
That's
like,
really kind of cute.
Propped up on his, like chin hands kind of thing, looking over the wall of pillows. Hello.
Honestly, and then I actually, now in my brain it's like, and then I wanted to draw Phoenix. And he's over there, got a little head over, and then suddenly his little boink tail comes up and it curls into a little heart.
That'd be
I'm
super
going, boink.
cute. I do adore you, and I just sleep over here, and we'll be good. It'd be
That'd
good.
be awesome.
If you marry me, you can sleep in my arms every night, small. And like in a whole pile of other people too. People
That'd be
really
great.
very cuddly, very soft, very, supportive.
Small, I never slept with anybody
community-oriented.
really at all, except
Ever,
when I was
my
really
whole
little.
life.
And now you're telling me that I can sleep with you and like 25 other people?
Yeah, it sounds really good. It's really nice.
That is really culturally foreign for me, dude.
Oh, well, maybe we should take it slow and start with like 1 or 2 people, and then just go up from there. Or I guess if you didn't like it, like
That seems strange though. Why not?
why wouldn't you? You know what? You should try it and see what you think.
But
Or
I...
like I could tuck you in, you could fall asleep in my arms, and then I could go pile in with all of them. That'd be fine.
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I don't.
I think we'll work something out.
We'll work something out.
We'll
It'll
work
be
something
fine.
out. All right. If you marry me, you can sleep in my arms every night, small. he leans over as if to kiss me again. Leans across the pillows. No, no, no.
I think, unfortunately, though, you've spoiled it for us as if, because we already know they're the no. So
Yes.
sometimes I get annoyed with these first-person perspective things where you really go, are you doing first-person perspective? Or are you really writing from, like, weirdly first-person omniscience?
Because, again, if we're first person, he leans over to kiss me. Then he stops.
Yes, that would make way more sense.
Like, he leans over to kiss me again, and there's this, and then it dot, 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 and then he goes, and then he stops in the next one. Because as if to kiss me again knows already from her perspective in her mind this is not going to happen. And that text is weirdly aware of the situation.
Yes, and
then pulls back, thinking better of it.
Yeah, we know.
Except for if he leans over as if to, I don't know, it just...
I don't like it.
Anyway, good night. Get some sleep, okay? Good night, Phoenix.
I
cuddle into
really
the pillows. I go, I
taken a
wish
shower.
I could shower so bad.
Ew.
I'm a little
Coffee.
grease,
Ew.
sweat. That was actually very cute.
It was cute,
Where
but
are we?
again,
We're in the hotel lobby.
Yes, of course
We've got a hotel lobby.
But I'm still really just kind of frustrated. Like me, okay, so I know we've mentioned before, sometimes we really don't like having the explicit sex, but sometimes I'm like, when it really like seems to work with that character, then do it. That's again where I'm like, for me, I'm just like, so be honest. Like, stop going, the sex. Well, then that means that the character's super anxious. I'm like, okay, then we should be able to either pick up on that or be able to convey that through our character.
Right.
You know, I just, anyway, I'm fine.
I'm like, this late in the game, they drew another background. I love it.
It's very cute.
Okay, Small, we're all checked out.
There they are.
Do we think it's them?
I think it's Ryan and Dylan.
Huh? Who's that running towards us? I don't recognize anyone in my whole world.
Well,
It's okay.
yes!
Yep, there they are.
Really? Well, okay, there's also, like, weird, like...
On the other hand, like, it doesn't, like, it's fine. They can judge. We have no idea. We see them hating, we keep rolling. It's fine.
Yeah, I see. Hey,
like,
I'm also
both
just,
of
like,
you
weird
tried
petty
for this.
jealousy is sort of annoying to me, though.
And again, one of the things that I had liked about this game so far
is that they had all supported each other.
is that they actually had not been jealous of each other. And having it be introduced in the late game feels really weird.
And especially with Phoenix.
And very sudden, actually, with Phoenix going, I'm super jealous. Now, he was the more chill than the other ones, but also these two, again, they've all just basically supported each other. Even when they kicked Rye out, it wasn't out of jealousy. It was like, you just don't fit the criteria.
Yeah, no kidding.
So this is suddenly very weird.
I cannot believe my eyes. I told you we'd find them.
Hey, guys. What are you doing here? God, I'm still really gross, and I'm still in my work clothes from yesterday. Hi.
That's something we should be asking Phoenix.
They're not putting it on Small. They're like, he did this. I'm like, we're both involved.
They're both involved? Again, more stereotypes of going, Phoenix forced you to do a thing.
The men are against each other. It's like, it's fine.
Stop this. You accuse me of being inappropriate, and then you bring her to a hotel. You are a scoundrel through and through, Phoenix.
Relax. It was just an old-fashioned bride nap. You know our culture. Oh my God. It's cute, it's fun, it's romantic, and you're being an uptight idiot about it.
Small. Even I don't like this because potentially, so especially if you have a player who's coming through and doesn't know what's going on, like this is a narrative that I feel like is fed to a lot of people of going, it's good to have people fighting over you.
And
it's
be jealous
nice to have,
of you.
and be jealous and basically argue about you because you're the center of attention. You get all the attention. This is all about you. You're the focus of all of these hot guys fighting about you. I'm like, this is not...
Which does nothing for me except for make them all look, you know, sort of petty. Now,
juvenile?
Yeah, that kind of thing too. But also just like, not very mature. Juvenile, so immature. I'll say, but there's this experience of going, they can be worried for your safety without seeming the same kind of judgmental. Right? They can show up going, God, we couldn't find you guys. Oh my God, you're just here. Oh. Like, Small never came home last night and we couldn't contact anybody because we all forgot we had cell phones.
Right?
And so my cell phone never rang. Shit, I left my cell phone at work. I had locked it in the cafe and I didn't even notice. And then you kidnapped me, so then I didn't notice more. And Phoenix has a cell phone. Why didn't you call him? What?
When did Phoenix get a cell phone?
I've
had one for a while. Actually, Rye got me one.
Because, you know, Rye's had one and he gets to text Small and I wanted to be in on that because that's unfair. Yeah. So I got one, that's fine.
I'm good at this.
But also going, where is our cell phone? Why didn't anyone contact us?
I mean, I get, honestly, where it can be cute in a narrative sense. But again, for me, like, I feel like it's also one of those things that people also go, if nobody fights about you, you're not valuable.
I know, and I don't
And
like
I'm also
narrative.
like, then does, especially for women, like, holy crap, there's this weird, basically, like, to me, I find it to be very frustrating of going, like,
I have actually met girls where they're like, if he doesn't fight for you, he doesn't want you.
I
where
know.
they will actually create the artificial drama of all threaten to leave him, or all basically try and incite an incident of jealousy to see if he will fight for me, and thereby how invested he is. And I think that's very toxic. I think I appreciate that she wants to feel valid. I appreciate that that's how she's been socialized to feel wanted and like he is for real. But I feel that that's a very toxic societal thing.
Yes.
So again, in the same way that I like to think the best of everybody in real life circumstances, when somebody does something that I feel is either dangerous or abusive or toxic, my first thought is, what is it that's happened to them that has taught them that this is the thing that is, necessary, or that is good, or what they should be doing? When I see someone act really extremely, even in the case of sometimes stuff that my friend Scandal, who engages as more news media than I did, do, because some of it just makes me so uncomfortable and I have no action to take, I just don't know what to do. But they will occasionally show me media that I'm like, I have a completely different set of questions and reactions to it than my friend Scandal here does. He's going, that is so inappropriate and not okay. And I'm going, what happened to make this happen? And not what happened to make this incident happen, but what happened to make that person behave that way? What was their life like, and their socialization and their family and their basically education up to this point to create that kind of behavior in them?
Right.
And those are the kinds of questions that I ask, big systemic questions.
Right, which is one of those things that actually I feel like a lot of people miss out on, and even I sometimes miss out on, because I get very sometimes swept up in things, but that's usually why I bring them to my friend going, oh my god, this thing.
And then sometimes we'll argue about it for a bit. We really will. And I'll ask questions, and my friend's like, it's not about those questions. And then we come back later, after cooling off and being like, okay, so here's what I was trying to say that I couldn't find the words for when you were really riled up, and you're going, and here's what I couldn't access when you were, basically very passionate about this thing. And then we'll get to a better place of understanding. But it's really cool, the fact that we do think about things very, very differently.
Yep.
Because it helps both of us expand our perspectives.
But it also is very indicative of basically how both of us were raised. I was very much raised with a very strong dichotomous response, which is either yes or no. It's black or white. It's good or bad, which is extremely frustrating to deal with sometimes, things, because I can see myself do it. And I know and then it happens anyway, and I'm trying to figure out how to back out of it, and I can't figure out how to have that conversation, just turn it around, because my language has been so geared towards being, let's be very aggressive, let's very much go slam into a yes or a no, and it's caused a lot of problems for me. So
anyway.
Swole, are you okay? He didn't hurt you, did he?
Of course not. I'm fine. I'm just gross, and I want to change my clothes and take a shower with my own shampoo.
Oh, I was just kind of wondering, because you were like this.
Shampoo. My own shampoo. You were walking funny. It's because it was, I slept in my clothes that I worked in, and I just feel really gross. Normally, I'm very fastidious about my hygiene. It's part of a kid that raises themselves. You just learn certain things, and you decide to latch onto them. That's really self-aware for me. But you decide to latch onto certain things for caring for yourself because you're being your own parent, and you use those things to basically justify how good you are at the thing that you've been shoved into and need to do. And hygiene is one of my bags, okay, dude?
My bag.
My bag.
My whole bag.
I'm fine.
So you two didn't...
Nope, we completely slept all night long because I get tired. Oh my god.
I was just at work. I did a double yesterday. Oh my god.
Guys, please. It is not like that, okay?
I'm also like, again, like the other two are aware obviously of how sexual Phoenix is, and I'm really, me personally, I'm kind of offended about the level of basically like shaming going on.
But again, Phoenix doesn't seem to actually be that sexual.
Yeah,
he seems to be that aggressively flirty and like vocally inappropriate. And again, he violates your personal space, but not your sexual space,
which is weird.
And there's a difference there, which I talked about in a previous episode, which I think is really important. Violating your personal space is not cool. It's not okay, but it's very different than violating your personal space sexually.
Right.
They're separate things, in my opinion.
Right? Well, I mean, the thing that bugs me is I feel like, again, it could just, like, lead further into that, and it's weird that it doesn't. Again, because that is actually one of the biggest ways that people who are used to basically abusing other people really go to, because you cannot stop them.
Or, again, if you're just if you're written really sexually, like, overtly, vocally, and physically, then usually it just does actually involve sex. So, Phoenix is a weird dichotomy that way of going...
But I've noticed that with a lot of characters, even in stories, even in, like, dystopian novels where they'll write about, for young adult books, where I've read them and you're like, why aren't you going this far? Well, that's the one thing I won't do. And I'm like,
why?
But why not?
What is your connection to that? I would say, so the thing is for me is, again, that full-on commitment of going, you're writing a character that's meant to be sexual, that's meant to be a bit inappropriate, if you will, and then
which is, again,
you're
demonization
writing them,
of sex, but
again, so there's problems with that in multiple areas. Yeah. But then again, when it gets down to the wire, or tacks of brass, if you will, they're not going to have sex with you or violate you sexually at all, nor are they really that interested or motivated by sex.
And you're like...
Like, they're totally going to cut it off and stop, and you're going, but why? Not that I want it to go there, but I want to know your character motivation for this action. Who are you? My primary interest in reading someone's character is knowing who that character is. One of my favorite things to do when I like a character is break them down as who is this person, who do I know them to be? And or when I don't know, when I can't get a hold on a character, to break down what I know about them and see if it makes sense to try and get a hold on them. Because that is one of the big things that I read stories for, is for character.
Right.
Like I'm not... Like, I enjoy world building, and God, will I dive into world building, but the world building does nothing without characters in it.
Yeah, I know, and I actually find it always to be really frustrating, so I've talked about it once or twice, and it's the thing that makes me probably really angry in reference to a lot of stories of going, like, your world building is wildly, weirdly good, and your characters make then no goddamn sense, because they're having a plot-driven character, not a character-driven plot, which is so weird because it's like without characters, you have no plot.
Nothing
so
is
how
happening.
the hell did you get there?
Right?
Like, it's like, well, so why, if your characters are having to go along with the plot, then go to where the plot is being driven by the characters that are forcing those characters to do something. Because that means that that's where your story is.
It's true.
Like, why are you writing about these boring idiots who are like, I just don't know what I'm doing.
Here to be a plot device.
Right?
One of my favorite characters was just a plot device, and it irritated me so much.
I was so mad about it too, because I was like, finally when I broke down and read it, I was just like, really?
Yep.
This is now the character that I also like.
The character we both go is Baby is actually literally a plot device. So if you haven't read Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, we've mentioned it a few times, it is a large read. Like, it is not a small book, but there were things about it that I liked, but my favorite character in the entire trilogy was Marsh.
Yes.
Like, I loved the hell out of that character. I even wrote to Brandon Sanderson, the author, at the end of reading that series, going, you wrapped up everyone's timeline except for Marsh's. What happened to my favorite character, the one I loved most and connected with most as a complex, interesting person? And he went, oh, yeah, well, he actually wrote me back, which was super cool. And then he told me, technically Marsh should still, I don't want to spoil too badly, I would say, but he told me some information about the character and that he really just hadn't wrapped him up that way, but, maybe he would use him again in something else. And I'm like, okay.
He's literally just a plot device to you.
But again, it was just this experience of going, Marsh functionally is a plot device, while literally, if you read what's actually written about him, he's a very interesting person. He's very intense. And anyway, if anyone else is in the Marsh fandom and you see this, because that would be like a small fandom coming into a small fandom, like that would be amazing, like finding a shiny Pokemon.
Yes.
But if you do, I would love to hear your thoughts, because I am there going, I liked Vin in the first book, and then Marsh was my boy.
Yeah, it's true. Marsh's boy.
Marsh's baby. It's fine. Anyway, so.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also feel free to go share our videos and find more Marsh fandom. Woo! Yes! Also, if you'd like to, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. It would be super cool if you did. And other than that, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!